Hello, everyone. My name is Sojo Alex. I'm the Executive Principal at Envision Strategies. Today, we are here with Cheryl Berry from Michigan State and Brian Gross from Virginia Tech as part of a special edition of our Thought Leadership Series. We'll touch something you said earlier. We talked about labor, trying to recruit labor, but then one thing you talked about was how to retain them, with the money that you're giving them or whatever. Big things we've seen is student labor. And so how do you retain them? Maybe you can recruit, but recruitment's hard too, actually, right now. How do you recruit and retain students, especially nowadays? And that's another topic that people are talking about, right?
Yeah.
So have you done something on your campus that has worked? Or is that still an issue?
We incentivize it a little bit, we have different kind of rewards programs throughout the year for our students and our full-time and our part-time employees. Well, it's really kind of building that, hey, we care for you. You're not just, a worker, but you're a human being. And, work balance, kind of came out of the pandemic. It's like, I never thought about that as a leader. Really, you got to work from home for a little bit. So anyway, so it's kind of like, you think about that. But, to kind of retain them, there's two things. One, professional development. Our students, we're always training. I always tell them, you can get real world experience. It's going to look great on a resume. We actually do different job titles. We'll give them student assistant manager, general manager. And we'll have those titles, and that resonates on their resumes in the future career. I really want to do this for our students. So that resonates as well. But we'll do events. We'll do giveaways throughout. Again, it just shows that our leadership, our members, really think a lot about us. That's how you retain it, but it's hard work to retain, staff. It's just, and it also just comes down to just being respectful, saying thank you. That's really what a lot of, staff want to hear. So, but it's challenging though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not able to incentivize in that way. We've tried, but it just doesn't go through. So we have to look at other things. And like you said, it's the ability to build your resume, right? So you can start, and then after 30, 60 days, you can bump up to a management role, and that can keep progressing. And as they do that, then, their pay will increase and stuff. But that's really what we have to focus on, because we're not allowed to provide any incentives to our students yet.
And that was a challenge for us. Is when we started that program, that's another program I started as well. And back in the day, it was like going, what do you mean you want to give them a turkey and a ham at the holiday? We want to do that. So we've been doing that probably for 15 years. But there's funding that we get to pay for that. And that's how we do it. And you got to be underneath certain dollar figures, so you don't get taxed on it. So we're very strategic in that, but it was not easy.
I love what you said about just saying thank you to them, showing them appreciation, because I think that's a huge thing as well. If students can make one connection with one of the full-time team members, you'll hold them in the position. It's when they don't feel connected and they don't feel appreciated, they're probably just not going to stay with you.
Both of you are known for culinary excellence. If you've not seen a really well put retail program, as far as their food, the new food hall Perry Place that you opened is like out of control. It's amazing, and it's gone a lot away from grab and go type of thing, but culinary excellence within those retail locations. And I don't think you have any national brands on your campus either, right?
We do have national. Yeah, we do have
One,
national
that's
brands.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of them spread around. So yeah. We do have a Chick-fil-A in Perry Place as well.
Oh, that's right.
That was our second location, because we felt like we needed to have a little bit of a national brand. You do self-branded concepts. Something like, what's going to bring a student to come into your new state-of-the-art facility? And Perry Place, opened up. It takes a lot of time and effort. You talk about the culinary piece of it. We went to Austin, Kansas City to find the best barbecue. We ate 16 different barbecue joints between the two cities. You have to do your research, and smoke is in there. It's the number one concept in our new facility. And I think it's successful because we actually did the research. And, we actually did back of the house tours in both cities and, and kind of just picked, what we thought was the best.
It's interesting you bring it up. Again, going back to culinary excellence, students are there for a whole year, right? And and both of you have won awards and continue to, produce good food. How do you still keep that, that excellence going? Is it part of training? What do you do typically?
Yes, a part of training, but also I think it's giving the chefs a voice, letting them weigh in. Each of our chefs create their own menus. They pull from, what's existing, but also because we have chefs from all over the world, they bring their own flair, and so everything's very unique. And I think having that little bit of freedom, to put that flair, to do things your own way, to bring up things to leadership that they may want to do. We're always asking, we do a kind of a touch base every other week with all of our managers. And, we're always looking for feedback, what is it that they want? So I think just those communication things are huge.
Yeah, communication. Yeah, we employ executive chefs in every one of our facilities. They have a chef de cuisine, they have a sous chef. So they have that culinary talent in it. And we kind of, again, it's kind of that order progression. Somebody comes in as a first cook, they can move up into a sous chef role. All our executive chefs are almost all certified. So again, it's that professional development piece as well. But yeah, it's kind of like we give them freedom. You're the executive chef. Here's the concept. And we want to do barbecue. We want to do great barbecue. Or we want to do Mediterranean food. And we give them the freedom to do it. And I think that's really where they're passionate about. And, but there's parameters we got to fit, into comes the food costs, labor costs, and those things got to be looked at as well. But yeah, I think if you allow your culinary team to kind of just do their thing, because they're the professionals, I stay out of the way. I just bring me the food, I'll taste it all day long. And then, again, it's that student voice and our faculty and staff, they have opinions and they have strong opinions and they'll let you know. And I think if you have to embrace the feedback and communicate that out and tell that story of here's, this worked, this didn't work. It's okay to admit that, some things don't work on your campus.
We've also kind of been pushing our chefs to compete a little bit more, having so many new chefs.
Amongst
they're just not used to it.
Or just other campuses or what's?
Really just anything,
Wow.
We do campus-wide, little competitions, but, just getting the chefs to find those competitions where they can build their skills and, show their creativity. So we're starting to get there a little bit more, but yeah, it's been a little difficult
They're super
to push
competitive.
them to do
I don't know if
that.
it's on your campus, but dining centers compete with each other. How much money we bring in, how many, transactions we get in a day. Oh, they take great pride in that as well. And there's a little bit of camaraderie with that. It's usually in great friendly, competition. It doesn't get really ugly, but it can, but it's, again, it pushes them. Perry Place, when they opened up in the fall, they had targets to hit. And they were like, gosh, we're not hitting them. So they were like, changing things on the fly and kind of making things more efficient. And you got to do that. You got to adapt, and a lot of people don't do that well, but I think that's one of our strong things that we do on our campus is make change and do it on the fly if you need to, because you're there, you got to serve the students. So
we've also opened up a lot of the conference opportunities cross culinary. It used to be where it was a handful of people that would go all the time, and we've really opened it up across the complete staff, and so they can apply for the different conferences and we'll take a look at it and, give approval and stuff. And I think that has really helped develop that creativity too, because when you're out and you see the new things, that's what inspires you, right? So yeah, it's been extremely helpful.
Yeah, travel is really important. A couple of weeks ago, we were just at UMass at their culinary conference. First time I ever went to it. And it's been around for 32 years now. It's a great conference. And our chefs went a few years ago and they loved it. And it's kind of like, they get inspired by others But, I think it goes across all your leadership. They need an opportunity to go and visit, go to a different campus and see what others do, go to the NRA food show in Chicago or come to NACUFS. And they have to be exposed to that. Again, it's kind of like, we talk about retention. That's one of those aspects as well.
So, Brian, you've been working on a big project on your campus, definitely a culture shift worth, a conversation as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that project is about, why it came about, and, what the results are?
Yeah, so, we've been over about a year now doing an actual dining plan study. Students kind of, over the years, our flex plan has been in place since the early 90s. It's been around for a long time. It was actually a catalyst to probably where we're at today. But things kind of change over time. And, it wasn't very transparent. When we did the study, out of that study, we realized value. Students didn't see the value in a dining plan. It wasn't very transparent. And they just didn't understand it. It's very complex, to talk through that. So after about a year-long study, we've been, have finally formulated a brand new kind of structure for our dining plans. We started out with maybe just adding one new plan, but we've actually completely flipped the model, what we're going to offer our students. It's still, still fresh. We have not actually implemented it yet. We are just for the Board of Visitors in the spring semester for final approval. We're going to pilot it with about 200 students in the spring semester. And basically, we're going from the flex plan that has a base cost. It has flex dollars associated with it. It's kind of like a declining balance. And we're going to now address really one of the key value principles that we needed to kind of focus on was like food insecurity. Our students are running out of money, and parents, I get the calls from the parents or from a student, and they go, "I'm having more money on my plan. How am I supposed to eat?" And it's like November, and they got like 3 more weeks of school. So that was a big issue for our administration. So they asked us to kind of focus on that. So our first year students are going to have unlimited with a declining balance set dollars and 7 meal exchanges. So that'll be first year. But upper class can also purchase that one as well. And then we're going to a strictly a declining balance and for on-campus upper class students. And so we'll have that. And then off campus, we're going to have one, a minor flex plan currently. We're actually going to give them a declining balance as well. But we're also going to incentivize it. So things we heard from our parents and our students, we like to use our credit card. We like to, we get the rewards. I can fly here. I can stay at this hotel. We said, how about we add extra dollars and let's incentivize them? Yeah, so it's exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Absolutely.
Because we've been on the flex plan for,
completely declining
it's completely
balance.
culture shift.
I'm so glad to hear that that was the result of your study, because we looked at our dining plan for over a year, trying to figure out, should we change it? What should we change? It's been in existence for quite a while, and really looked at a lot of different angles. But ultimately, it was the food insecurity piece, right? So, to take away all you care to eat dining is not going to meet that need.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was the big thing was like going, man, it's heartbreaking to hear a student come to you in like, November and go, Mr. Grove, I'm out of money. What am I supposed to do? And it's like going, we have resources on campus, but it's kind of like disheartening to kind of hear a student do that. But yeah, food insecurity is a big thing on our campuses, and that's across the country. All fight that. And I think a lot of people think it's our responsibility to do it, but it's not. It's a university initiative we need to kind of work on and do and try to, work together. But yeah, I think the new dining plan structure for us will solve that issue for our students. So,
anything from you? Any projects that you've been working on, and anything that you've tried to implement that you think your other leaders should think about or look at?
A few things come to mind. So one of our it used to be an all-you-care-to-eat dining hall, which we converted to more of a grab-and-go location, more retail. So we were left with this big seating space that was dated. A lot of people just weren't going and hanging out there. So
we bought different furniture, like, whether it was from our surplus store or whatever, it was all like a very low cost project, but we created space within this dining hall for that comfortable seating, people to hang out, do different things. And it has just like really taken off. So that's been great to see.
So instead of like the institutional seating,
Right.
there's a hangout spots
Yeah.
like this. That's
kind of, yeah,
That community
kind of like
space,
this.
building that community and kind of that hangout space. Is gaming big on your all's campus?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
they're like, we don't have any in our dining facilities, but we have like a space. We're thinking about doing like a late night kind of like gaming room and do like soft seating in there and just kind of, it's our late night operation. It's kind of like, but students look for that.
Yeah,
And it's
and
important.
they can, have their meetings there or study or whatever, and just having those options within the, one space has been really beneficial. We've also been going through a brand refresh. So this brand may be familiar to you, our Sparty's
oh my
store
goodness,
brand.
that's awesome.
Yes. So yeah, right. So
awesome.
it was the most current logo brand guide was developed back in 2008, 2009, I think. So, it was getting a little dated, just needed a refresh, and, the super loud colors and everything, don't always resonate anymore. So that's all taking place this summer. So that's been really exciting. Yeah. So you'll have to come and see our
Yes,
campus.
now I do.
Branding is like really one of those things that's like, you change something,
Yeah.
just tweak it a little bit, and people get, but I say, like, we have Hokey water, and we refreshed our same way. It gets dated over a while, and we did a completely rebrand. People love it or hate it.
Yeah.
It was like going, I can imagine Sparty's. I can remember that when I was there, when you're on campus. But yes,
It's any
certain
brand
things
for
you
that
do, but
matter.
Yeah.
branding is always important. Yeah, I think y'all did a great job with it.
Thank
We do,
you.
yes.
Thank you. So then we took one of our store spaces that we decided, it didn't make sense to have it open there anymore because it was competing with other locations. So the retail team developed a concept. So, just to stay on trend. So this will be like a bagel sandwich and dirty sodas.
What?
So
That's
yeah,
amazing. That's a really cool concept.
We're excited to see how that kicks
That
off.
opening this fall?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
you got to put some
Yeah,
pictures. And
yeah.
That's a really
So
good idea.
just some exciting things, to bring the creativity back.
It's great. But
Branding and refreshes are always important. You got to stay up. We're committed to like about 10 or 15 years refreshes usually. Kind of like take it off the franchise, model. They're like 7 to 10 years because you got to stay fresh and relevant, do a complete refresh or completely brand change in it. So yeah,
It could be a painful process.
it can be, and it's like going. It's not easy to create logos and specific branding, and I have a marketing department that does that for me. They're great, they're talented, and I have that creative background. But yeah, it's hard work, but you got to do it. And I think we're very successful as well on our campus. We have some great iconic brands that will stay around forever,
right.
never
we
go
can
away.
just-
So.
Well, this was a fantastic conversation. It's amazing to hear how we're all trying to do the same thing, but it all depends on the campus culture. And like you said, Brian, and you said, every campus is different. You have your own thing. And, thank you for spending some time with us today and helping our other thought leaders think about this and, finding solutions to what you do. But if anyone wants to find a little more about your dining program, where can they go, Cheryl?
So they could go to our website, which is eatatstate.com.
How about you?
Yeah, they can go to our website, dining@bt.edu. Check us out. They can see all of our information on our dining plans, our concepts. We actually have virtual tours. You can actually do that. That's something brand new we did this past year, so they can actually explore the dining center. So, yeah. So that's where you can go check it out and see a little more about Virginia Tech.
Well, thank you both. This has been fantastic. And I'm hoping to learn and see some of these changes over the next couple of years as well. So appreciate it.
Great. Well, thank you for having
Thanks,
us.
Sojo.